other site in the game could see the boxing voice.
Fernando Pimentel of the Boxing Voice here once again with Robert Garcia. Robert, I wanted to ask you something that was just came out. It was a random thing, random thought, and it was Oscar saying that he doesn't go a day without making a comeback. You know, he's been training.
Oscar De La Hoya?
Oscar De La Hoya, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya was on Power 106. Said every day I think about making a comeback. There's not a day that goes by about it. He's been on Instagram. He's been showing off his training. Obviously, we know he's clean now and everything. Do you think somebody like him, Oscar De La Hoya, being gone from the ring for so long, can actually make a successful comeback and just fight as an attraction?
Oscar, we just signed three young amateur fighters with Oscar to Golden Boy Promotions. So you know, I didn't know that. I know, but now that I hear that, how come he hasn't called me? I'll train him.
I wasn't even going to ask you to train him. I was going to ask you, you guys are
No, I know.
somewhere around the same age range. You wouldn't fight him?
He's too. Oh, that's what he's Is that what you're trying? That's what you're.
Oh no, no. The training's good too. But I would have gone with like, hey, you wouldn't fight him?
Nah, you know what? I was 26. We're talking 14 years ago when I had my last fight, and not one single day has that gone through my mind. You know, to make a comeback. Not one single day since the day I said that's my last fight. I never thought of making a comeback. Never did. You know, 4 years after I retired, rest in peace, Chicanito Hernandez was still alive. He was close to 10 years older than me, and he was training to make a comeback. And he called me and he's like, Robert, you're only 30. Why ain't you training? You know, there was, Pacquiao, Marquez, Barrera, Morales, they were all at the same weight division. He's like, I'm training because I know there's a lot of money and there's a lot of money to be made against those guys. He told me, I said, no, that's not my plan is not about making that money. What if I get hurt? What if they hurt me and I can't enjoy my kids? For me at that time, it was more about enjoying my kids. I wasn't really focusing to being a trainer yet. I was more focusing to being a dad and catching up to what I missed when they were born. Because by then I was already fighting. I was already in training camp for 2 months. So I didn't see my kids go to their first day of school. I missed the birthdays. You know what I mean? So for me, it was more about catching up. It wasn't about making money or anything. But if now, Oscar's saying, if the money's right, I don't know, maybe I will.
No, but let's talk about you training him. Let's talk about you training him.
I would never, I don't think there's any amount of money that would tell me, here's the money to get back in the ring. That would never happen. I'd rather have him call me, and I would love to train him. Especially now that we're gonna be working together with those fighters that I signed, and he's gonna be promoting. Hey, I'd be more than happy. If that's really in his mind, he's 42. He's 42, so he hasn't fought in a few years, so he's still healthy. He's in shape. He's never been out of shape. It's not like he was 200 plus and now he's trying to lose weight. He's always been in shape. If he takes care of himself and stays healthy, why wouldn't he be able to do it? Hopkins is doing it at 50. Marquez is 41 and still trying to do it. And Marquez he's been active all this time. He's been fighting. He's been getting dropped. He's been in tough fights, and he's still good enough to fight. He's still good enough to be a world champion again. Why wouldn't Oscar be able to do something like that? I think he could.
Now, how would you train a fighter like Oscar De La Hoya? You obviously know his skills. You've seen him from afar. Now, as you said, you've worked with him. So how would you train a fighter like Oscar?
Look, I trained with Oscar for many years when we both turned pro. We were both fighting for Top Rank. His team was my manager. Was managing myself. So we had a lot of training camps in Big Bear together. And Oscar is one that used to train very, very hard. I don't know in his last few fights because I wasn't around, but he's very dedicated. He used to train. He used to run the mountains like nobody else. He would run those mountains in Big Bear like I've never seen anybody else do it. But hey, I would love to be part of it. Teach him stuff. He already knows a lot. Maybe correct some things and do things a little bit better. I would maybe like him to do more like the Mexican style. More like that body shot. That use those short combinations instead of fighting on the outside. Use those short punches on the inside, and not that I would want him to fight like that. Because he's very good at fighting on the outside, using his long punches and those straight punches. But just in case you get into a fight where you have to be forced to do it, he knows how to do it and could do it very good.
If you were training him, who would your ideal opponent be versus Oscar De La Hoya as a comeback fight? You know, we were throwing around suggestions over here, and we thought, you know, why not a Shane Mosley, a rematch there, or somebody like Anthony Mundine? Who would be an ideal opponent for a comeback fight?
Well, I don't even know what weight he would want to fight. It all depends on what weight. But Mosley, maybe even bring. If we're bringing him out of retirement, let's bring Fernando Vargas out of retirement. That would be a huge fight. That was already a big fight. Oscar won, but it would be huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not? There's fights out there. I wouldn't pick fighters like Triple G or anything like that. But mostly Vargas. There's even fighters. There's active fighters that Oscar could beat.
Like who?
If we're talking about 154 or 160, at 160, I think the only one out there that's very, very dangerous is Triple G. But besides that, there's fighters there that are beatable. I don't see why Oscar wouldn't do good against Cotto. I don't see why Oscar wouldn't do good. Cotto's small. Cotto's small. Oscar's very fast. Oscar could fight smart for 12 rounds and beat him, win an easy decision. I don't see why not. If he's in great shape, why wouldn't he? Cotto's a champion at 160, so you know what I mean. Those type of fights, that I wouldn't mind seeing.
Robert Garcia giving us his opinion on Oscar's giving a comeback. Oscar, if you're seeing this, give him a call. It is Fernando Pimentel of ThaBoxingvoice.com. Thank you very much for your time, Robert.
Thank you.